Hello, hello?
Hello?
Hello? Is anyone out there?
It's a mom's night out.
Hey guys.
Welcome back.
How's everyone doing?
Good.
Yeah? Good week
I mean,
so far?
yeah, and we're wearing our
Our new hat.
new hats.
They're so good.
I was very nervous to open the box after our last fiasco.
After Beanie Gate.
Oh my God.
These are like where it's at this spring and summer.
Guys,
Fall. The rest
so
of
good.
2024.
You're welcome. Everybody, please get
I
a
need
hat. These are sick.
Yeah. They're really good. I'm super pumped.
Me too.
They came out
Never.
good.
Good
It's
job,
never coming off
guys.
my head. Don't worry. You'll see us at school pick up and drop off tomorrow.
Don't worry, I'll wear this every single day of the week, and people will probably make fun of me.
It's fine.
No, it's good.
It's great. It's really great for an April snowstorm as well to wear this hat.
Yeah.
By the way.
What is up with the snow in April?
It's
Still snowing right now. This is wild. It didn't snow all year. Now it's going to snow.
Yeah, we got the most snow of the year.
This is what happens in New England.
Actually, it happens every year. And then every year, everyone acts surprised. And they're like, there's snow in April. But this literally happened last year.
Yeah, you're right. I think
Yeah.
you're right.
Okay.
It's global warming,
Okay.
whatever that means.
We're not getting into that.
No,
rabbit
we're not
hole.
unpacking that.
You don't want to do an episode on global.
No, I do not. Maybe I will be sick that episode.
Me too.
It's just going to be Katie.
Wait,
a
can we-
monologue.
Can we talk about that?
No.
Do you
No.
think we'll
We don't want
No,
to.
do we? No, I mean, do we think we'll ever do an episode without one of us?
Oh, hopefully
That would
not.
feel
Hopefully
weird.
not. No.
Unless like something crazy
Something tragic.
happens.
Yeah,
that
it'd
would
have to be
feel
something
weird, right?
terrible. Yeah.
I love that about us.
Yeah. Sorry, everybody.
We can
You're
dial
getting all
one in.
three. You're getting all three of us. We're having AI generated Mandy or Katie or Jenny. It's possible, you guys.
Wait,
Phone
it
a
is.
friend.
AI is, yeah. Anyway.
The video you're watching is actually our AI generated images.
We'd probably look cuter.
Oh.
Make my lips bigger.
Girl, I know a guy for that.
More eyelashes. Oh, God.
All right, what do you guys want to talk about tonight?
Yeah.
Let's stay focused. Okay. First up, let's talk some pop culture.
Okay.
Love it.
Who saw the P. Diddy scandal coming?
All I know is his house got raided. I did not know P. Diddy was involved with any of this.
No.
Me neither.
Me neither.
Yeah,
I was like, what?
Yeah.
I know.
But
All I
like,
could think of was P. Diddy and J-Lo. And that just was like, whoa.
yeah, like blows your mind.
Okay,
Yeah.
until you just said that, I forgot that they dated.
Yeah.
They did it for 2 years, you guys.
They were a hot item.
And so this is not, I'm going on a little bit of a tangent, but do you know when they were dating, a gun went off in a club. P. Diddy had a gun and it went off in a club and they both got arrested.
Yes.
J-Lo
Wait,
spent over
what?
14 hours in jail.
It was P. Diddy's gun.
It was P. Diddy's gun. And
Wait,
he got,
I forgot
yes,
about
they both
that.
got arrested.
I do remember
Club.
that.
Why
Yeah.
is he bringing a gun to the club? First question.
Well, I guess he
Well, I
always
think that
had
was-
drugs and
yeah.
guns on him.
What?
Anyway.
J-Lo, girl.
Yeah, we're
Man,
happy.
she doesn't have great taste in men.
No.
I'm going to say that.
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
I mean,
yeah.
she's now
I
a
think
boomerang.
Ben's the
She's
best.
now-
Ben's
yeah,
the best.
Ben's
she's
the best
done.
he's going to get.
Yeah.
Yeah, like A-Rod, not it, girl.
Mark Anthony may have been a good one.
Yeah, you know what? I'll give her that.
Yeah. She procreated with a good one.
She
That's
went off
important.
the rails.
Yeah.
She went down a rabbit hole with bad men.
Oh, God.
Oh, we're all
Okay.
guilty of that.
You're
okay,
right.
but wait. My one thing that I keep like coming back to is like in reading about. So then I was like, I need to like be informed about like all of this.
Yeah.
How come all these people knew and didn't say anything?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
I mean, maybe they were paid. Maybe
people-
they were
yeah.
intimidated.
He could be paying everyone. I think you're right. Intimidation.
Yeah, and that's probably common in a lot of industries, but like what other like crazy like wild industry is going to be next where this comes out about like a person that like an everyday name in every household?
I agree. And I feel like this whole intimidation factor, I don't get it. Maybe I'm a crazy person, but I had someone say recently, be like, oh, be careful of those people. And I'm like, be careful. Send them my way. I ain't scared. Like, I'm sorry. I just feel like in this day and age, like what is up with that intimidation factor?
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yeah.
probably gone on for
maybe in politics,
all the time.
maybe I understand, but like in the music industry, like Taylor Swift ain't scared.
But it goes on in like social circles.
Maybe
It goes
people
on
who like knew about it were like in her circle and were like, if I say anything, then I get kicked out. And
Well,
I'm no
good,
longer.
good riddance. He's
Yeah,
disgusting.
I know, but like people are fame and money hungry.
I know.
And some people do latch on to that no matter how horrible a person is.
It's actually crazy too, like the pack mentality. It's like everybody, if everybody's doing it, everybody goes along with it. Like they say that about, you know, like tragedies and stuff's happening, like a bad situation, and no one stands up and no one helps out, right? Like something happens to someone, like a medical emergency, and everyone watches.
I know what you're referring to.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like it's like that pack mentality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not part of the pack. I'm like the person who jumps out.
Yeah. It's like
Swimming
those,
upstream.
Yeah.
those like ethics. It comes down to like ethics and morals, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But some people don't care. And so is like Beyonce, aren't they saying like Beyonce and Jay-Z are involved in this?
What? I did not read that.
I feel like there's like this whole ring, right? Then you get into like all the conspiracy theories, like going down a rabbit hole. But like, yeah, like there's this whole ring of like pedophilia in the music
I think
industry.
a lot is going to come out over the next few weeks.
Yeah, I think so too. Just like Jeffrey Epstein. What was the other guy? Harvey Weinstein.
We're gonna have to have an We're gonna have to have an emergency podcast night when the news breaks.
Heavy topic.
All
I
right.
didn't mean to go there. I'm
I
just
know.
surprised.
Well,
Yeah.
I think there's more will come out.
Okay.
Okay, I
Next topic.
wanted to talk about the podcast drama that's happening this week, and I feel like nobody's talking about it. And again, is that because everyone's scared to talk about it? But Mandy did a lot of research, so I'm going to let you take over and spew the facts. But how about the fact that podcasters, some of the top podcasters, are buying downloads on their podcasts?
Well, and also like a very shady way of doing it. So they've been going to gamers. So when, you know, it's predominantly men are playing video games, an ad will pop up. And if for like certain podcasts, and if they click on the ad, they get rewarded in like this virtual loot. So whether like tokens for the game or like more lives, like they're getting rewarded for clicking on this link. So it's not even like they're being advertised to. It's like, it's much more an incentivized based thing for them to click through.
Yeah.
And there's some pretty famous podcasts that have been called. It's been 37.
Call Her Daddy is one of them. And that is so disappointing. I'm so disappointed in that.
I am not surprised.
You're not?
No, not 1 second.
But it's
moment
wild.
of me.
Was Joe Rogan on there?
She was like the only name I could find on the
Okay.
other ones were like from the overarching band, so or like group. So a lot from Netflix, a lot from YouTube, a lot from iHeartRadio.
Listen, it's not cool. And like the charts are supposed to be like the one fair place where like everyone comes. And if you're doing a great job, you get recognized. And I think we're passionate about that, right? And so for someone who's at the top, by the way, we know
They were
she's been
already
at
at
the
the
top.
top.
But now she's buying her way to stay at the top.
Yeah.
Maybe because her ratings dropped. That's not cool. And she has the money to do it. She has deep pockets, $60 million Spotify deal, and probably Spotify behind her.
I'm going to say something that's like going a little bit against the grain right now.
Do it.
Okay. So because I work in marketing and deal with media buying, I think she actually has nothing to do with this.
You think
I
someone
think
on
it's
her team?
It's somebody on her team, and
it's
she probably
Spotify.
has no
It's an
idea.
agency that she's hired. It could
Yeah.
be Spotify.
And they were like, we're doing this advertising, and she actually doesn't know
So
what it
she's given the
entails.
money. I mean, at some point,
Yeah,
she's held
paying the
accountable.
bill.
Her name's on it.
Yeah.
But like she's giving the money to an
Oh,
agency
that's
or
fair.
some sort of a media agency that's like, she's tasked us with increasing her downloads, and they're getting scrappy and finding ways to do it. And it's
It's
not
like all
cool.
these scams.
Right.
But like
But,
they
like-
had screenshots, and it's actually so crazy. The screenshots from the games of like seeing
Honestly,
how it is.
It makes me
Yeah.
think. So you guys know we love her, and I'm thinking differently of her. I love your perspective
Yeah.
that like it's probably her agency.
Yeah.
But hey, how come you haven't come out and said anything about this? Because that's your reputation on the line. And like, I'm not subscribing anymore.
Yeah.
Like, that's not cool.
Let me tell
Yeah.
you what she had to pay.
Please
Let's
bring
hear
up
it.
the facts. Bring up the receipts. We got facts.
I just thought it was a lot.
Receipts.
So yeah, they pay, it's incentivized. So the company they're going with, if they get a new follower, they pay that company $5 a follower, which is kind of a lot.
That's terrible.
And then it's,
Terrible.
the media companies or the podcasts have to guarantee $5,000, but I'm like, they're paying way more than that.
How can they regulate this? Because honestly, like this is going to skew a lot for people, and this changes everything, and this changes the whole game. And now I'm looking at the charts differently. Like I'm like, you know what? I don't really care about the charts anymore. Like we know our following, we have a great community, and like the charts are fake.
Well, the good thing about this article, excuse me, is that now all of the sponsors, so sponsors are the commercials that you hear when you listen to the podcast, they're going to ask to see some of the like metrics and data about because if you're saying that they're targeting men that are playing video games, that's obviously not the community she's trying to build.
Yeah.
So now her sponsors are going to start digging into that, and they're going to hold her accountable and probably withdraw. So she's going to get backlash, not from like you,
yes,
us
you're
who's
right.
a listener, but from people that pay her money.
Wait, that's such a good point because we see our demographic broken out, right? Like we know like 87% of our listeners are female.
Right.
And so this must have been skewing her listenership. Yes. Like, hey girl, like 50% of your listeners are not male. Like,
they're just getting in-game points.
But I bet she was standing on that too a little bit. Like, look at all the dudes that listen to my podcast.
Yeah. So now Bloomberg's outed her. And
thank you, Bloomberg.
Right, but my one final thought is, I don't know, maybe we might have to do this. And how are we going to fund it?
Can someone pay
Feet
for
finder.
it? No, just kidding.
I mean,
all right. We got a really amazing episode. Let's get into it.
Okay. So tonight we really want to talk about busy culture. So today's culture often glorifies being super, super busy. We say yes to everything, or we want to say yes to everything. We overschedule our children. We thrive on travel to consume more versus relaxation. We want more. And so I, for one, can't sit here and not say that this is me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me.
It's me.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah, totally.
I think it's something that we all struggle with this. And I think like everybody in today's world struggles with it. And so I think, personally, people often ask me how I'm doing, and I've been catching myself saying like, I'm busy. And in my head, I'm like, oh, that's a good thing. Like being busy is good.
Do you also say, I'm so good, super busy?
Yes.
That's what I say.
All the time.
Yeah.
I love
it's like we glorify being busy.
Yeah. When you said that, I thought about that and I was like, oh my God, that is my go-to update.
Same. But like, is that good? I don't think so.
No, it's actually not.
So today, let's like unpack this. Let's talk about long-term effects. I also want to point out that in 2021, the World Health Organization reported that overwork can cause the risk of stroke, heart disease, and ultimately death, which is a scare tactic. Cool. I know, dropping that, but I actually think that this is true.
It is true.
I think that there's an increase in all of these diseases and
cancers.
Yes, and there's probably a correlation here. Not to get all woo-woo, but
they actually say that lifestyle and stress and all of that can impact like your like probability of getting cancer or getting a disease. You're exactly right. So I'm full in on that.
So let me ask you both a question. Do you think that you're guilty of maximizing your day like as much as you can possibly fit in? Talk us through it.
Guilty?
The guiltiest, Mandy over there. Okay.
Yeah. I can't say. I've been working on it.
You are working on it.
Yeah. I think definitely over the past, I don't know, few months, a couple eye-opening experiences, and it's just, I have tried to relax more, which is really hard to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think out of the three of us, I am the least guilty of this. With that being said, I am still very guilty of it. I think you two are just like
overdrive
next level to me. Truly. But I feel like having my third kid forced me to slow down a little bit. So I can't take credit for that personally. Like I feel like the wheels were falling off the bus for a while for me. And so I had to reevaluate and slow down a little. So I feel like, but again, I also pack in all the things. So I'd be lying if I said I wasn't guilty of this.
I don't know. I think in my mind it was like equating just time to sit of like this. And it's going to sound so weird, but like laziness or like, wait,
Yes.
I'm not like just sitting is like really hard thing to do. Do you remember a couple years ago when we went on the girls trip to Miami?
Yes.
And do you remember we all went to the pool and like, you guys, I wish there was
books.
I wish there was a show because we all brought books. We actually
did not
could,
read them.
No, we could not sit still.
No.
Like it
And
was
we were
a
anxious.
really weird
It was
thing.
actually bad.
The anxiety set in by like 11 o'clock and we didn't know what to do with
we didn't know
ourselves.
what to do.
It was actually like our first mom
Yes.
trip away. So I think like
True.
hats off to us for doing it, but we didn't know how to function.
I didn't know it would hit like that much of like, wait, okay, it's just me here. I don't have my kids. I don't have my husband. Like,
Yeah.
wait.
We were also with a veteran mom of 4 kids
Yeah.
who had some older
And
kids.
she
and
was
also
like,
some
I'm
younger
reading.
kids.
She was like, I was like,
No,
wait, what?
She was like, what is wrong with you guys? She's like, oh, one day you'll learn. And she had
was
it
right.
mastered.
Yeah.
She had it mastered. Hats off to you, girl.
We
No,
did not
I
yet.
bet you if we redid that trip,
Oh, I could do it
We'd
nowadays.
be better.
Yeah. But I look back on that a lot and I was like, wow, that was problematic.
Okay, but don't
Yeah.
you think that has a lot to do with like how you were raised? And so the way we were raised,
True.
I think
Yes.
we all have similar parents to that. But like the way I was raised, it was like grind culture. If you weren't working a crazy like 12-hour shift and you weren't doing all the things and you weren't stressed, like you weren't doing it right. And by the way, I didn't grow up in a super wealthy family. So it's like almost like this middle, I feel like not to get deep, but it's like this middle class inflicted like type of thing.
I don't think it's just middle class because I do think that it's become almost like a status symbol.
Yeah, I was going to ask that question. Yeah.
Yeah, right? Where you hear like people who are at the top of their game and they're like, oh, I've got this project going on and this project and that project. Sometimes inappropriately where you're like, I can't relate to any of those projects you have on your plate. Like,
But then I also feel like now there's like this new culture of like self-help and it's like, wake up, meditate for 40 minutes, drink your herbal tea.
How about the go outside first thing in the morning?
Yeah,
And I was
walk
like,
on the ground without shoes on.
yeah, I'm like,
that-
who's doing that?
but wait, Gina brought it up. Gina, the like fashion designer,
True.
one of my
Yeah.
dear friends, she was like, but she said, she's like, I've gotten to a place in my life where I can do that. And I have actually sat and thought about those words that she said and how at peace she was,
I know.
where she was like, I've achieved this.
Maybe if I gave
I
it
was
a
like-
shot, I would recognize. But I'm like, there's no way my first thing in the morning is going to be to go outside and get sun in my face. Also, I'm
I know.
waking up before the sun's up, but
Yeah, I was just
how's that going to happen?
You're not up from the sun. You're
like,
getting up
damn
way
it.
before then.
There was a point in my life when I was waking up. I think I only had one kid at this point, but I was waking up before her and I was coming downstairs and sitting at my dining room table, drinking tea and journaling in the morning. Truly, I was.
Oh.
That was like a dark time in my life, so I was trying to get through
Okay.
it. However, I will say it did a lot for me.
Yeah, like relax.
Wait, this is me probably maximizing my day. But I do try to wake up before my kids and get a workout
but you're
in.
running and working out. You're not like meditating and chilling out. Yeah.
Still brings me mental health.
1,000%. 1,000%. Okay. So, I mean, what do you guys feel like is an indicator? We're talking about how busy we all are, but what do you think is an indicator that you're like too busy or that your wheels are spinning?
Oh, I become like
How do you know?
extreme.
Really?
Like
What does extreme
like,
mean?
Oh, I start to like really hyper focus and get very anxious and almost like Bryce can tell right away. Like I will just start making
I
like
can see that.
yeah.
That's your best friend. I'm like, oh
yeah. Like you guys can tell. Like
you almost make more plans.
I make more plans. Like I double down because I think it's like a weird. This should just be a whole nother episode, but it's like this weird control thing. So when I think things start to get like crazy or I'm super busy, I lean even more in and try to make more plans because I think it's in my control.
Whoa.
And like that's when I'm like, oh whoa, okay. Actually, take a step.
And
back.
is Bryce kind of like Mandy, slow down? Like, does he really back in or he goes along with it?
I think more recently, within like Yeah, definitely the past like few months.
But he used to like go along with it.
I think he probably just was like, yeah.
What
like,
is this girl doing?
Yeah, like, okay, sure. And now he's like, wait, take a deep breath.
Slow down.
Like the other day I was like kind of starting to spin my wheels and he was like, okay, stop.
Yeah.
He was like, stop what you're doing. Like go upstairs, like take a shower and like go to bed. Like get into bed. Just like relax.
I love
That's
that.
so nice.
But of course I was like, I can't.
You're like, no, I'm going to do, and you have a checklist. You're like checking the boxes.
I just remember being, it was like a weeknight and I was like, no, we have all the stuff. And like, I have to do all the stuff for work and the podcast and everything. And like, we have all these things we have to get done. He was like, no, you need to just like stop, go upstairs.
Wait, that is such good advice for someone to keep that in check.
Right.
And be like, you need to stop.
I can't keep myself in
Because
check.
guess what? All of that can get done another time.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. I know.
There's always
I know.
tomorrow.
But it's
I write
true.
a list so I can do it tomorrow.
I know. Don't.
But that's
Okay.
when I know I'm spinning. How do you know when you're spinning?
What's your indicator, Jen?
Or about to burn out?
Well, yeah, I've shared this before, I think, on here, where like when I get close to burnout, my anxiety keeps me up all night.
So you can't sleep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can't sleep.
I can relate to that.
Yeah. And it's hard because like I'm also, when I can't sleep, I'm also just lay in bed and try to make myself sleep.
Oh, okay. So you won't pull up the phone and make a list like Mandy would.
No, I will. But I'm good about the lists. Like if it's something that's like, I'm like, wait, none of that. Like I can't actually solve any of that right now. Like
Okay.
don't even do it. And I'll try to like, I'll pull up my phone and try to like read something, but it's more like, don't you have that like pressure in your head where you're
Yeah.
like, okay, now if you don't fall asleep now, you've only 4 hours left to sleep.
Yes.
And I'm like, now I only have 3.5 hours left to sleep.
I do that. Melatonin helps with that.
Oh,
But you're not supposed to take that long term. But I do have trouble sleeping, and I can relate to the anxiety and the not sleeping so much.
yeah.
For me, when I feel like I notice that I'm close to burnout or I am spinning my wheels or I'm too busy is when I start to forget things and things slip through the cracks. So like that is a major indicator for me.
Okay.
You know, like I forget, I'm like, oh, this week was a half day at school, or oh, I forgot it was XYZ, or oh, I forgot that I had this work event. Like, and it's in my calendar and everything. I don't know if you guys do this. I check my calendar, but sometimes like I avoid my calendar because it's so overwhelming and I take it on day by day.
Yes.
That is an indicator to me that I am too busy. There's too much
Plate just
scheduled.
gets too full.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't even want to look at my calendar.
Yeah.
I'm avoiding it.
I get that.
Like, that's not cool.
No.
And so, yeah, I really try to like, I've been good about stopping and like, I'm like, nope, we're not doing this, and like shutting it down and staying home.
So setting
Yeah.
boundaries.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's good to, I think we've all gotten better. I mean, it was our mantra for the new year. Say sorry less and no more.
Yes.
That is
And I
true.
think we all have recently been very supportive of saying, you know what? No, you were allowed to say no. Don't feel bad about that. If
Yeah.
you couldn't attend that event, you got to do what's best for you and your family. And you can say
Yes.
no.
Having that support system of friends who get it and understand. I think we're all so busy and we're all in this busy culture
Yes.
that when one of us says no, we know there is a real reason and we respect it so hard, right? Like we're not like, oh, man, she's not coming to this. We're
No, I
like,
agree.
she said no, she must mean it and she needs it,
Yeah.
right?
I think that's like so important in friendship
Yeah.
and family. But family sometimes has a hard time understanding those boundaries.
1,000%.
Where
Yeah.
I think like your close friends are really the ones that can like
Yeah,
help
because
you.
we're all in it. Right
We're
now.
living it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing. Like I feel like parents and grandparents and, you know, cousins and this and that, like they can't always understand because they're not living your life. We're all living such similar lives and doing the same things every day that we know how overwhelmed we all are. So it's easy to understand when you decline an invitation, whereas like a grandparent or, you know, a relative might be like, well, why wouldn't they come
Yeah.
do this?
I know.
I'm just dying about the irony of this because we were all so busy and then we decided like, hey, let's start a podcast. Like,
Let's do more.
I'm so guilty
Yeah, I
of
was
this.
like, wait a minute.
This is therapeutic to talk about.
By the
It is
way, I
therapeutic.
think we make this podcast look easy, and it's
No.
I think we make it look easy from the outside, and I think I want to be very clear about how much work we put into this.
Well, it's a second full-time
Right?
job.
Like this is like after it's a second full-time job. This and by the way, we can't do it during the day. So I want to also be clear about that. Like people are like, when are you doing this? I'm like, when my kids go to bed, I'm doing this, and we're staying up late and we're thinking about it on the weekends. And we're scheduling things on the weekends, and we're giving up time with our family. So like, yeah, we took on it's kind of ironic. You're right.
It's true.
But this is a lot of work. I know we make it look easy, but it's not.
I mean, I was going to ask the next question that I know gets under all of our skin. So how do you possibly, how do you balance it all?
I hate that
how
question.
do you do it?
Oh, I hate that question
You
so
really
much.
hate that question.
I do. Wait, I didn't realize how much I hated it until one of our listeners reached out to me about it. We are friends from like past life in high school, and she reached out to me. She's like such a sweet person. Oh, following our podcast. I love her. And she was like, I hate when people ask me that question, because she too is like, has a big career and little kids. And I'm like, what do you do? Like, how do you answer it? I still don't even know. It just triggers me.
I think it's because like you just do it. Like you don't have a choice.
You don't think about it. You just go.
and you just get through it. But you're also not like, you know that you're not doing it well, but from the outside, it looks like you're doing it very well. I'm not meaning you're not doing it well, but you know the shit that you deal with every single day, and the meltdowns from your family, and the
it's not all
relationship
glamorous.
strain. And it's not glamorous, but like from the outside, you pull in and you drop your kids off and you look like a goddess, and people are probably like, how is she doing this?
Yeah. I mean, I also think I'm not taking it in a positive way. I don't want to go down a rabbit hole.
Oh, like you think people asking that, like they're negging you?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't
think
actually
they're
think
like,
that at all. We should unpack this
How
because
do you do it all?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, that's going to be I think that's a whole other episode.
Yeah, we'll put a pin in
trigger. Is this a trigger for you?
Yeah, I
That's
think-
next
yeah.
week's
I think it is.
episode.
Well,
2 weeks from now.
2 weeks.
2 weeks
Okay,
from now
we're going to,
episode.
everybody tune back in.
Whoa.
Okay.
I'm writing this down.
I do want to transition to the workplace because I actually saw a really interesting article this week about California is introducing legislation to actually make it illegal and like more set boundaries for employers can't contact employees outside of working hours.
What?
So
That sounds amazing.
Set more in place and give people legal limits, except for, of course, emergencies or, if you're a doctor, of course.
That would
But
never work in my industry.
Yeah. No, but they want to.
Yeah,
so
that's hard.
yeah, no, it wouldn't. But like they're saying during the pandemic, people's work-life balance like really got messed up.
Well, I agree.
Yes.
That you're always available and employers are now taking advantage of that. So yeah, California is introducing legislation.
Wait, that's incredible.
Yeah.
I don't know if my management team did this or if this is like a whole company-wide thing for me, but I get a kickback when I send emails after hours,
Oh,
after 5 p.m.
What do you
Really?
mean?
I get this like little thing in Outlook that's like, you're sending this email after work hours.
oh,
Oh, no, I think that's Outlook.
Oh,
oh, I don't,
It's Outlook because I get that too. And I'm
wait,
like,
I don't get that.
I'm like, bitch, it's 7:00. Like, I'm sure.
you're like, I know.
no, I can be in
it's-
bed anxious
it's
at
the
2 a.m. sending work.
No, it's the new Outlook.
not
You do
getting
not
those
send.
alerts?
You do not send 2 a.m. emails.
Mandy,
No,
you're the problem.
hold on. You are. Hold on. I want to stop you. Okay. Wait, I want to stop you. You guys know I work for a very small company. There's 6 of us. One of the partners there, I love you so much, and I know you listen to this podcast. She actually schooled me. Like when I came to work for her pretty early on, I had a new baby, and so I would be, working these odd hours, and I would be working from like truly like 8 p.m. to midnight. And I was sending late night emails, and she was like, don't do that.
No.
And I was like, wait, why? And she was like, because. She was like, you don't want people to know that you didn't get to everything that you needed to get to during the day. She's like, you can send it, schedule it for a 7 a.m. delivery. I know, sorry, I'm outing our tactics because,
I like that.
now, like do that. Like don't be sending a 2 a.m. email. People are like, what is this lady doing? She's crazy. And if I get a 2 a.m. email, I'm like, crazy lady. So Send the email, schedule
it.
it for delivery at 7 a.m. because then they're like, look at Mandy. She's a boss. She's up and
up at
working at
7
7 a.m. Doesn't she have kids? Like, how is she doing that? Pro
But I
tip
also
to the
think
listeners.
at work, it's like funny. Like it's another place where being busy or always busy and grinding your reels at work, it like somehow people think it'll like propel you.
So that leads me to a question. Like, have you come across leaders who try to like encourage the busy culture?
Yeah.
Or like, do you have leaders in your companies who are like anti busy culture?
So recently, my company has definitely moved, or at least my management team has moved away from the busy culture.
Amazing.
Yeah, which is like a breath of fresh air. But no, I think during the pandemic, like it became a huge problem.
Yeah.
There were no boundaries. It was more. We were like bleeding talent.
And by the way, during the pandemic, it was so hard to be working more. Everyone's kids were home. Everyone's families were home.
Yeah, but it didn't matter. Nothing mattered.
That's wild.
Yeah, but I think they had a real awakening and like have really changed it. But yeah, I've seen, and back then, yes, people were being rewarded for basically burning themselves out.
For sending 2 a.m. emails?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think you have the same thing in your company and industry?
Yeah, I would say definitely the pandemic, I think, made people like that go. But it's the same thing. Like when you ask people, when you see your colleagues at work and you're always asking them, how are you? And it's so funny because everyone's always like, I'm so busy.
They're trying to tell
I'm
you
so busy.
everything they're doing.
Yeah.
Oh, they're like
You know what I mean?
selling themselves to you.
Yeah.
I'm guilty of that.
Oh.
However, my company is so amazing at not putting busy culture and like rewarding busy culture. So we all have young families, and this is why I love working for them. Truly, it sounds like I'm like doing an advertisement, and I know they listen, but you guys know I truly feel this way. We all have young families, and they're like, listen, get your stuff done and go be with your family.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they are so respectful of any family thing. You know, you guys know last week, like we had to go in, I was like mystery reader. I did Hendrix's birthday walk. I did Presley's math event. 0 questions asked. No one has ever questioned me. In fact, they encourage you to be around for your family. And I think that's so unique. I think more leaders need to do that. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
Like as long as you're servicing your accounts and you're getting your work done, I am a big proponent of work smarter, not harder.
Oh, totally.
Oh, yeah.
I know people who work 80 hours a week, and let me tell you, I'm more productive in the hours I work a week than that.
Yeah.
So like, are you bad at time management?
Some people are.
Yeah, some are. I also think like sometimes like your job flows in that direction. You have to work 80-hour week.
1,000%.
Yeah. Like, yeah. But, and I find that like some people choke under that kind of pressure. And like, maybe this is like a toxic trait of mine, but I
thrive.
don't. I thrive.
I
in
do
that.
better when I'm busy. I do better when
Yeah.
I'm on
No,
all
me too.
cylinders.
So I think
too.
No, yeah.
Yeah. I think we all do. That's
But I
like,
also
That's
feel
why we've
like
all
being
connected.
a mom has made me more efficient. Like,
Yes.
you know, I know a ton of dads in my industry. Sorry, dads. But they're like, yeah, like I'm working Saturdays all day. And I'm like, well, you're dumb. Like I can do everything that you're doing in my limited hours of the day.
Yeah, I
Yes.
make it out of time management.
Yeah. So
I agree.
be efficient and work smarter, not harder.
yeah. Yes.
I do want to transition to the kids. So do we think we're projecting this busy culture on our kids? Like how are your kids? Like for a while, my kids kept asking at your kid's birthday party this weekend. All of a sudden, we're leaving, and Ava goes to me. She's like, "Oh, sorry, Ellie." She was like, "Wait, what are we doing after this?"
I get that all
And I
the
was
time.
like, "We were just at a birthday party. We are not doing anything after."
Whoa, I never thought of that. I was going to go in a different direction. Mandy, that's wild. My kids do say that to me.
all the
all
time.
the time.
Yeah, because they're like, what's next? What's
What's
next?
next?
What's
And-
next? What's next? We're like, girl, we just went to a birthday party, out to lunch.
Yeah.
I
The thing
swim
is on us,
lesson.
like I had to be like, no, we are going home. We are making dinner and we're showering and we're having a normal bedtime. Like, no, this
Yes.
is not an all day party. We had the one fun event.
Yeah.
Whoa. I never thought of it like that.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Yikes.
Yeah.
It's so true because we're always like, oh, it's a Saturday. We have nothing planned. Let's do X, Y, and Z. And so then the kids start to expect that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we're like also guilty of like constantly trying to give them like interesting and cool experiences.
Well,
I
it's
agree.
so hard because it's like they'll come home and they'll talk about all their friends doing this, and school vacations is a different thing. And it's just like, it's always these things. And I don't want, it's a very fine line to walk of making sure like I can give them experiences, but then not making it too extreme.
Oh my God.
And all the time.
Right.
It's so funny you say that. I'm dealing with this right now with my daughter, and we brought them to Disney over February, you know, like did
All the
the
things.
best Disney trip,
Yes.
like all the things, like spared no expense. And so we're staying home for April break. We just got a puppy. And so we're not going anywhere. But she was like mad about that because the kids in first grade are talking about their plans. And I was like, girl, a lot of your friends stayed home over February break
Yes.
and you went to Disney, like, and had an amazing time. Like, dial it back. And I like get, I hate this word, triggered, but I get mad. I'm like, girl,
Yeah.
what are you talking about? Like, I never even got to go on vacation growing up.
Yeah, I definitely dealt with we didn't go anywhere for February vacation. And so, yeah. But yeah, no, I think everything both of you have just said is so valid. And I also think with like the sports, which we've already talked about.
Yeah.
We've already had an episode on that. But I
We can talk more.
I think we like, I'm not going to talk for the three of us, but I think I have a tendency to like want to also, part of those experiences is like giving my children what I had, which was like trying all the sports. Which one do you like? And so I think it's like you have to be careful, right? And so I have found that like not Reese, but Marin will be like, what am I going to do now? And she'll be like, I'm like, it's just be bored. Like you have a house full of coloring. Like you've got crayons and markers. Go color.
Go
Play with your
outside.
doll. Go outside.
Like,
Like
go
I
outside.
don't care. Or just sit there and be bored because I don't care what you have to do.
Yeah.
Like,
Do you remember
Entertain
being
yourself.
bored
Yeah.
growing up? I remember being so bored, all the time. And like, by the way,
TV on demand right now. They can pick whatever they want to watch without commercials. It's actually
I know.
insane.
right? And
know.
so John's big thing is like getting the kids outside, and I love him for it. My kids think I don't go outside enough. I'm trying to work on that. I'm like, dude, I'm doing the laundry in here, okay?
You need an outdoor laundry machine.
Do they make those? Let's make those.
I'm going to find one.
But I'm just like,
Wash
you're
bucket.
right. They should go outside and just play and be kids. They don't have to have an activity. And so I do feel like we do that as a family, but it's hard because then you feel guilty.
yeah.
Yeah, because there's so much other stuff that has to get done.
Think about when you're bored. When I'm bored, that's when I'm most creative. And
1,000%.
same with children, like them sitting in their rooms playing. And I listen to my
imaginary
kids.
play.
I listen to that sometimes, and it's incredible.
Yeah.
So let your kids be bored and don't feel bad about it.
Also, it's a really important life skill.
To be bored. Yes. I know.
Yeah.
Clearly,
To, like, sit with
clearly
yourself.
we
to
didn't
not
master
be,
that.
To not be on a phone, to not be watching something, to just literally just sit.
Yes.
Sorry, Mom and Dad, you guys messed up on
Just to sit.
for all of us.
Well, I think we grew up in a time where like all of a sudden like all this technology just like came around, and like our generation, I think we do struggle with just sitting
For sure.
Yeah.
and not doing anything.
Yeah.
For sure.
But I do want to go back to the one thing you said about the kids' sports. It's so funny because do you guys ever get the questions of like, what are your kids' activities this season? And sometimes I'll just say like one thing for Ellie, like all she's doing right now is swim. And some people are like,
They look at you like you're a
waiting
jerk.
for more. And I'm like,
No, you know my rule. I really try to keep it to one activity
I'm
per
like, wait,
season.
what do you want her to be doing on top
No.
of all of that?
No,
That's a
dude.
lot.
It's like
Everyone's doing
society's
like 7
expectations.
things.
They want so much
Yeah.
stuff for these kids and for you. And
again,
it's a lot.
Don't you see burnout in your kids in that way? Like, I know we already talked about this,
Yeah.
but don't you see, like, I see my kids craving to like not be doing a million things all the
Yeah.
time too. At the same time, they're like, what are we doing next? But they don't want to be scheduled 7 days a week. Like,
they want to be going to
sometimes-
the arcade.
Yeah, like sometimes my daughter will be like, I don't want to go to practice, or I don't want to do this. I want to stay home.
Yeah.
And I think you have to listen to that
Yeah.
and be like, whoa, if my kid's saying that, that's an indicator.
Yeah. We're staying in tonight. We're going to like be on the couch with a blanket watching a movie.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
I know.
Right? Oh my gosh.
I mean, that sounds like a great tip or trick to keeping your like busy schedule in check. Like, what else do you guys do?
Yeah. I think when I hit meltdown and I feel like my kids are not themselves and they're like overreacting to things, I shut it all down. I cancel plans, and exactly what Jen said. I put the movie on. We have a movie night. We do movie, popcorn, candy, and we just hang in as a family.
That's like one of our favorite Friday night activities.
Yes.
Friday night movie night.
My kids
Same.
love that.
Yeah.
Like truly, like they ask to do that.
Yeah.
It's cute.
What do you do?
Kid related or just?
Just in general.
Just in general.
So, yeah, I feel like I have a couple of full-time jobs right now.
What?
Plus, like, on top of a podcast, and, you know, we're also like digital content creators. And
Someone help us. Someone help us.
So I like have a check-in every Sunday, and it has to happen. I've had weeks where it doesn't happen and the wheels come off the bus. But like I go through like, you know, what are the kids' schedules this week? Not like doctor's appointment. There's always one.
I love that you do that.
But like, and I like make lists. I do all the things. I tell my husband because I love him so much, but he does not look at the family calendar. So I remind him of like his obligations. And then like I look at my work calendar and I brace myself. And I sleep better that night when I do that.
I have a girlfriend who suggested that, and she was like, she like read this like book on marriage, and it says like that's supposed to like be really helpful for like marriage and family. Like if you have that like 20, it doesn't have to be Sunday, but
like a
20 to
family
30 minute check-in
with your husband.
Yeah, with your husband. You should do it with your husband. So not, I love that you do it for yourself, but like sit down with Mike. I don't do this, so like I'm not saying that.
Do you mean you don't like rapid fire angry
this.
text? You're like, yo, don't forget.
Well, I do that, but like I usually do it like 20 minutes before. I'm like, blah. But like she swears by sitting down with her husband and like discussing the week, and like even if it's 20 minutes, and it's like, you know what? It's a great idea. We should be doing that.
Yeah, that is a great idea.
Pro tip. Also, say no to anything that is not a hell yes. Okay.
Yeah. If you're kind of on the fence.
How often though do you find yourself being like, I don't want to do that? Okay, I'll do it.
I've gotten better.
Me too.
I think because I think we're so busy. A year ago, I was saying yes to everything, and now I'm like, no,
sorry, we're busy.
No.
Sorry, we're doing this. Sorry, this is what I'm doing for my family. Sorry, we need this time.
And I used to feel guilty, and maybe because I'm so busy, I don't feel guilty anymore.
You guys have strengthened that for me.
Just say no.
Like, you know, when
really? I feel like I'm only just learning.
But I feel like I don't know, like, yeah. I mean, we're all learning, but I like feel empowered knowing, because like I vent to you guys and I'm like,
we were like, that was the right call. Do not go.
Yeah,
True. That's true.
I'm like, cool, I can't sleep. You're like, no.
I'm like, let it go. Favorite
true.
line recently. The one thing I will say is we all talked about this at the beginning of the year of, you know, being able to disengage with our phones for a little bit, because I think that's important. Like I will find myself
that one.
You guys are better than me
on my phone, and it's funny because like we're texting all day long about podcast stuff, and it gets more at night because that's when we can usually sit down and work. Sometimes I have to be like, all right, I have to put my phone away, like I'm going to like on a date or like
by
whatever.
the way, you don't even have to say that, because I feel like when you guys don't answer, you know me, and I always say to you guys, I'm like, don't feel the need to respond. I'm just brain dumping so that it's in our chat. But like,
I feel the need to
you
respond.
feel the need to, but like that's the other thing. Like you shouldn't feel that need, because like
that's my next thing to work on.
If you have a friend who's getting mad at you for not responding, that friend can like go jump in a lake.
That's a friendship red flag right there.
Yeah.
That's another episode. Stay tuned. But truly, like, I've never gotten mad at you guys for taking a long time to respond. Ever.
True.
I've never been like, why isn't she responding? I'm like, dude, she must be in the weeds. And now I feel bad because I just texted her 14 times.
Usually my phone just says stop and it pauses all
Your
group
phone
text.
freezes for you. The Android.
Does. It actually is probably.
That is amazing. Sometimes I wish my phone
actually
or
is the
email
best.
just pause.
Right? So find yourself a group who like doesn't care when you respond, right?
Or I respond.
And sorry if I
2
don't
days
respond
later,
to
like,
your text message.
You know that thing where it's like, oh, sorry, I read it. And I read it. And in my mind, I thought I responded, but I never did. Like, I will sometimes go back.
I do that all the time.
Text for like a few days ago.
Same.
And I'm always like,
it's impossible to do it
With
on
you
our
guys.
podcast thread because
But,
it's
like-
obviously we're like in the
friends
moment.
from
Yeah.
home or
same.
other friends in town. Sometimes I feel
My best
very
friends
bad.
from home know. They're like, okay. And they'll I'm like, just ping me again. Like, I'm so sorry. I'm a jerk.
Yeah.
It's hard.
No. So find yourself friends that get it, I think.
Wow, we kind of like branched off a lot. Like
I
the
know.
backbone of the episode was busy culture, but it does actually touch on
So
many
many
things.
And guys, I think like the moral of the story is like we all need to stop leaning into busy culture.
Yeah.
Work smarter, not
Like it's
harder.
break, a deep
okay
breath.
to just sit
Yeah.
or say, you know what I'm doing on this weekend? Nothing.
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
And it's contagious.
yeah.
I
Like,
agree.
Yeah. When you see other people doing that, you're like, okay, I can do that too.
And
Like,
sometimes
yeah.
your most brilliant ideas will come to you when you're doing nothing.
That's true.
Your $1 million
or
idea
the
is
most
gonna hit you.
quality
Yeah.
family time too.
The quality family time. I agree.
You know, just like the sitting at your
Soaking
home.
in the moments.
Yeah.
The little moments, by the way. Like my kids don't care about like the crazy Disney trip. They're like, I want to sit on the couch, eat popcorn, and watch a Wish
I
movie.
know.
Like the new movie that
Can't wait to watch that.
I can't wait.
Right? Like that's what
Yes.
they crave.
I do want to leave it with like a nice Mel Robbins quote.
Oh,
Oh, you had this in your back pocket?
No, but as we were talking about just like those quality moments, when she was talking about her daughter performing at Carnegie Hall, and she was like, if you ever want to make a core memory, don't record it and don't take a picture of
I
it.
just got chills.
Like, just put your phone away and truly like be present.
Whoa.
Okay.
Good advice. I need that advice.
But it actually is so true. Like,
It's so true.
another episode. I just feel like when you're like, it's hard because you want to capture the moment and be able to relive it back. But she's like, if you have your phone in front of you, you're still not truly present.
Oh my
in
God, I'm
the
so
moment.
guilty of that. That's
Me too.
another episode.
I know.
Me too.
Mel, will you come on our podcast and talk about that?
Maybe we'll
We all
drive
love
to you.
her.
Come into the Berkshires.
Hard to not.
Guys, happy Wednesday
Yeah.
and cheers.
Cheers. Thank
Be-
you.
Be
We'll talk
less
to you guys
busy.
again next
Be
week.
less busy.
Night.
Night.